Well, hey there, Dirt Crew. Today we're doing another viewer-requested ride and review of the Thorn, which is in Findley State Park, about 45 minutes west of Cleveland. Now, this is a blue trail with a little bit over 10 miles total in the loop, and some of the most truly unique features in the area, and quite honestly, kind of a surprise. Now, normally when we're selecting a trail, we review MTB Project and singletracks.com to give us an idea of what to expect, both in terms of difficulty and if the trail is going to make for good content. It's described as a flat and often fun ride through the woods around a lake at Findley State Park. Pretty straightforward, right? With it being an average 1% grade and a maximum 6% grade, well, that just sounds like a ride down the towpath with a few more trees. Well, I can tell you, nothing's further from the truth here. While the beginning and ends of the trail are fairly tame, that 6% maximum grade, that's an outright lie. With some seriously punishing climbs, a few exhilarating descents, I can confidently attest that ESG Green here is being a little disingenuous with the simplicity of this review. Now, right away, this trail starts with some fun optional features, such as this rollable drop optional line, which smacks you right into a punishing climb with roots, though it does have a bypass like most of this trail. Now, I will say for the first several miles, with the exception of some log overs and some optional lines, this trail's pretty straightforward, with some mild climbs, mild descents. There's plenty of roots to keep you engaged and paying attention to your line choice, but it's only once you think you know what to expect from this trail that it throws one of its most unique features at you. Now, around an unassuming corner with a steep step, you'll find yourself at a massive spillway, which helps regulate the level of the lake. While I'm not sure if this is actually intended to be ridden, there's absolutely no way we were going to pass this up.
That looks fun.
Now, I will say one of the challenges here is just not getting lost your first time. As while there's plenty of signage, there's many walking trails and biking trails that go along some double track for about 10% of the ride or so. So keep an eye out to the left after the spillway transitions to the woods as you'll encounter the main mountain bike trail, which is about a 5-mile loop within the greater trail system.
Yeah.
Now, something I will say about this trail is that for a very long time, this was a floodplain. So now it's pretty much a drained swamp. And because of that, it tends to stay wetter for longer than we're used to in this region. Now, this is one of the last trail systems to open, often not before late May or early June after spring, because of how muddy it gets. But the trail builders have taken that into consideration and added many wood or stone bridges throughout. In fact, as any follower of this channel knows, my partner Emily isn't super fond of wooden bridges, but the ones here are generally flush with the ground or barely above it, so she had no problem with them.
Big drop off. Teeter-totters.
Now, we haven't seen a teeter-totter in any trail system so far in Northeast Ohio, and only ridden them at Ray's Indoor Mountain Bike Park, so having these two out of nowhere means for some fun sessioning. Now, after that point, this trail gets heavy with features and fun, with even bigger log overs and some extended rock gardens that transition into a wooden stump bridge. Now, this is about the point where the trail transitions from green to a blue rating, with rapid descents full of roots and drops. This is my favorite feature of the entire trail system. A seemingly vertical 40-foot descent across the bridge with an expertly built lipped jump at the end. Of course, it was only after the GoPro ran out of battery and on our second loop that I was able to hit this at full speed, easily sending it about 15 feet to the backside of the landing. Now, based off of some viewer feedback, we're going to jump into the dirty scale much earlier than usual. And frankly, I feel this trail speaks for itself in a lot of these. Now, the dirty scale rates a trail from 1 to 5 and 5 key metrics, which determine how fun the trail is based off of that person's individual riding preferences. Now, I have to say, being lower on the scale in any of these is not necessarily a bad thing, and we'll use difficulty as an example, as an inexperienced rider or a new rider may prefer a easy or moderate trail to practice and refine their technique without getting frustrated or putting themselves at risk on a more difficult trail. So with that being said, we start with difficulty, or how challenging the trail is, and what are the minimum and maximum skill levels to ride all of the features of this trail. While at the beginning I definitely thought this trail was going to be a bit of a leisurely stroll through the woods, it definitely surprised and challenged me with all of its optional content. With unique challenges, steep sections, and a few jumps, the difficulty rating on this caps out at a 3.5, or just above average due to there being a few hidden advanced lines which are going to need some strong legs and good balance to tackle. Now next is ingenuity, or how well does the trail build around the natural terrain and geology? Does it have unique features? And what sets this apart from other trails? Here we give this trail a 4 out of 5. This trail system is incredibly unique, taking you through the park system that has a huge variety of biomes, old ruins, through a spillway, and some through challenging ravines. This area is undeniably beautiful, and because we came just a few days after the rain, there was a huge diversity in mushrooms and tons of animals to be seen. Now for rideability, or the feel and flow of the trail, we were pleasantly surprised, and when we were done filming, we ended up doing an entire other lap of this system. Here we give the trail an average 3 out of 5. This trail, while in the flat sections is twisty and fast, it quickly changes and surprises you with some fun descents and challenging climbs. There are some areas that you can just coast for a while, but often you find yourself at a sharp turn into a new part of the trail and not always able to keep up speed. For trail features, or the variety and amount of skill challenges along the trail, this easily gets a 4 out of 5, if nothing else, for its uniqueness. Between the spillway, teeter-totters, tons of logovers, and some jump lines, this trail system surprises, but does leave you wishing it had just a few more. Now lastly, for yielding, or how well known a trail is, how much you need to stop, and how likely you are to encounter other people on the trail, we give this a 3 out of 5. This trail, while feeling very isolated, is actually right around the lake, so often you cross paths with access roads, boat launches, and actually goes directly through a frisbee golf course in the area, so sometimes you need to wait for some people to play through. It's definitely not talked about as much as some other trails that are closer to Cleveland, but we feel it deserves more recognition than it receives. Overall, this trail is amazing, especially if you're a local, and worth the visit if you're a bit further away. Don't let Alltrails or singletracks.com fool you though. This trail has some serious fun with crazy descents, unique features, and gives you a great workout from the length. Thank you so much for watching, and let's go get dirty.